This week's episode is sponsored by Helio Gas Detection.
Hey everybody, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome 10 Slug to the Metal Cell studios. I have Pavol, I have Sean, and I have Rónán with me in the studios. Welcome to Cork, lads.
How are you,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's great. Friday night drinking beers with the lads.
Sludge.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Sludge.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks.
That's great.
Okay, goodbye. Cheers.
And of course the whole reason why we're here is literally to celebrate ye releasing your magnum opus. That'd be the Magnus opus?
Magnum opus.
Magnum opus. Magnum opus. Magnum opiate even. But congratulations lads, thanks for sending it to me. It is fucking fantastic. It just gets better with every listen. It's everything that a 10 Slug fan would want off the band and a lot more, and it really is enlightening, and just, you know, if you love the band like many of us do, you certainly will be proud of the lads for this. They've knocked it out of the park, and you know, it's well worth the wait. I never thought I'd say that because I've always been busting your balls over it, but it is well worth the wait and more, you know. So
cheers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks a million. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time coming. So,
but
it's glad. It's
but like you can, like with each track, you know, as you listen to it, you can feel the hard work and the thought and the strategy and the emotion, and every track weighs heavily with all those. And you know, as a listener, that's all you want, you know. And
a wise man once said, "No compromise."
Yeah.
And we got him to guest on track 4. That was cool. So
yeah. So like, where do we start with it, lads? You know, like, he had a few songs, I suppose, back even before COVID. Would that be right?
Yeah. We had Mogor
the Unkind,
and we had Baller and bits of other ones and stuff. And then I suppose just over the couple of years after that, everything else came together. But yeah, there was
Brutus was there as well.
Brutus was yeah.
Like we were trying to over lockdown just send the music to each other, even though we couldn't meet up and jam, you know. And it's just writing tunes that sort of way as well, and just getting them all together. Then I go, maybe we should do this, and add another chorus in here. Like, no. So it was good. That's the way. It's been a long couple of years though.
Yeah. But a couple of the tunes came together in kind of different ways. Like it was actually really interesting because there was jams with me and Michal where we just played off the cuff completely, and then when we listened back to sections, we're like, oh, all of those sections work lovely together. And that's how Mindless came about. All of those fast bits, like, I didn't write those, they just happened. Right. And then I had to listen back to the jam and learn it like note for note. And then he did the same for the drums, and there we go. That was it.
That was Mindless.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then the lads just like all structured it because they're really good with the structure stuff. And so all of us together then just like messing around with it, with ideas, with the structure. But yeah, it's mad how they come together differently. Like.
Yeah, and it was really, I thought, like, you know, reassuring, and again for people that followed the band from the very start to see how much a part Michal had to play in the whole album.
Of course, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everything came about from the two of us jamming together the whole time. So, you know, generate a lot of ideas, the both of us together, and the whole feel. Because a riff's just a riff when you don't have drums behind it. I mean, my stuff isn't that complicated. It's the drums that really bring out the riff, like, and that was Michal. So, yeah, it all came about organically like that. And the odd time I'd write something and bring it, and I think, okay, it'll be like this. The minute we played, it's like, nope, it should be differently. It should be different. And yeah, it's just really interesting like that. So Michal had a huge part, of course.
He was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was great at it.
you know, and it's sad that he couldn't continue and stuff, but you know, life happens, and health matters happen, and everything like
and
that.
his spirit is in the music.
Oh,
It's a new
totally,
thing,
totally.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, it might have taken us like what 5, 6, 7 years to do the album, but it's not like they're the only tracks that we wrote either. Do you know? I mean, there's loads of music, and there was loads of different ideas for songs as well. But you kind of, I guess, for the album, you try to pick different things that show. I mean, you can have a lot of chugs, and I love chugs, but you want every song to be different, and you want it all to work together cohesively, and so it just took time, and me, I was huge in it.
Yeah. I think kind of, you know, from someone like me, listening to ye and seeing ye play live and stuff, I always worried, from my own point of view anyway, was that you could just get caught up in overthinking. You know,
and me both. Yeah.
And that was the biggest fear for me, that the longer it dragged out, through no fault of your own with COVID, we ignore that, but just the whole process of going down rabbit holes and overthinking.
Well, it's,
you know,
it's not just that either, and it's not just COVID either. That took a while. Like, I think there's a learning curve with everything, and there was a learning curve with everything before this, and we decided to go and try to do, you know, as much as we can in-house, and that takes time, and it's worth putting the time into it, and to focus on the outcome, not focus on the time, you know, when it's released. So I mean, we had people asking us all the time, but you know,
it was coming at a slug's pace.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what about the overthinking side of things? Was that a prevalent?
I mean, it depends. I overthink things a bit, for sure. The lads are great at pulling me out of that, but I think it's 4 people working together as a team, and as a group, we didn't overthink things. We made the right calls with stuff, I feel, and like, I overthink things, but that's my thing, you know. But there's overthinking, and there's thinking things through, and making a decision, having thought of all the different options, is different than ruminating on something and not making a decision. And when you make a decision with something and you go with something, the goal is to get it done to the best it can get done. It's not to do it by X or by Y, because ultimately none of this is a job. We do it because we like. I mean, Jesus, come on, you know, like you do something
because we were thinking for ages. We're finding that kind of golden middle way. Sometimes you practice a riff. Sean comes with a riff, and we start jamming the riff, and it feels great. We work on next parts. It feels great at the time. The rehearsal. And sometimes I would, that's it, keep it like that. Never ever change anything on it. And then one week later, you listen to it and you can actually make it a bit better.
I just sit with it as well.
Just find that middle way.
That's exactly it.
Just sitting with it and just listening to it going. Because for me, like with music, if I don't bang my head to it, I was like, what's the point in doing it, you know?
What about kind of
getting
writing lyrics for a lot of this?
It was good fun. Took time too.
There
was a lot of tunes that are emotional sort of attachment to as well. And then like one of the songs I was writing, it was way before. It was 2 years back, and it was basically about what's going on over in the Middle East, you know, the ooze. Don't want to go too in depth with it, but it's just they're culling people, you know. So stuff like that with lyrics, and you're writing it over time and getting it out, and it was good. I enjoyed writing it because I haven't sat down and done anything like that in a while. You know, I haven't been as creative the last while, but just trying to get a message across, but not saying it directly. You know, with the lyrics, let you think.
Getting a theme as well.
Getting a theme and thinking about it, you know, but not saying what I'm trying to get at directly. Yeah,
but you're one of those great vocalists as well that, you know, that doesn't need too many lyrics to express an emotion through the way you deliver. You know, and you know, with Sean in the background as well, you know, bringing that up as well. You know, it's fucking. There's a lot of emotion in this album. Are you surprised to hear me say that?
That is a lot of emotion.
Yeah, I picked it up.
Well,
yeah, there is, big time. Of course, there is, yeah.
I felt it anyway myself.
It's mad because
emotions and hangovers.
When someone else, when someone else comes from a different point of view, when you're listening to it over and over, it's just,
yeah, of course,
you don't really look at the yeah, there's a lot of emotion in it, I suppose, too.
And I suppose as well, there's a determination with all of it. And like you said, you want to get a message across, and then you have a theme for each song, and you work on everything, and you want to get everything kind of making sense within itself. Like Rónán said, when you listen to a song, you want it to move you, and there's times when you'd have something together and you're like, it's missing something, and it might be a year before you find that bit that makes it what it should be, but it is, you don't know what it is that's missing, but well, from my case anyway, and it takes a while to get it, but
I suppose the main theme obviously is the oppression, like Colossal Oppressor, but we use the slug as the example, but there's a lot of oppression going on in the world. Like,
was there ever a song titled that?
Colossal Oppressor?
Yeah.
We sort of came up with it after we wrote all the tunes.
Well, you came up with it, and that's the thing. It's mad because he, like, say with the best titles for things have been from Rónán. Definitely, it's just off the cuff, boom, a phrase, and you're like, oh. Because we were going over and back a while, chatting about ideas,
about lyrics,
using lyrics as album
title,
and something that properly represents it and stuff, and that works. And you just fired over a message. How about this?
Like, Colossal Oppressor.
Oh. And then I put the phone down, and I was like, oh.
And then we had to Google it to make sure nobody else had it.
And nobody else had it, but it's not even like a phrase that you can find anywhere. I was amazed by that. I was like, oh, that's lovely. Do you know? Yeah. And then like the next day, I was just like going about and driving. I was like, oh, Colossal Oppressor. Oh. So it's one of those. It needs to do that. The same with Brooklyn Button's Beast.
Did that generate the artwork then afterwards with the title?
Pretty much. We were chatting about what it should be. I mean, what else is it going to be? Like, do you know? And, we had Owen do all of the art before, and Owen not like we had Owen do it, but Owen volunteered to do it and did a great job of all the stuff so far. And we said for the album, it would be nice to step it up again and make something that really kind of pops out. So, we're looking for ages for different artists and stuff and thinking, and then
came across Adam.
Exactly.
Oh man, he's amazing.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of artwork for different bands as well.
Adam Burke, Nightjar illustration, really, really good. He did Hellripper's album, the newest album, and he's done a load of different bands, and his style is amazing.
Yes, his style is.
And we shot him a message and gave him a couple of general outlines, and he just said, a giant slug could work. And we're like, nice, that'll work nicely. Thank you, sir.
But done on acrylic as well. Like,
acrylic on wood, proper, hand on. We'd explored a lot of different ideas beforehand, and like we'd been ages like, what should it be? And like, but in the end, he kind of took it and went with his own vision of it, and I was blown away by it.
There's so much little details as well, the little dolmens in there and stuff.
And like, did he come up with the round towers and stuff?
We just mentioned it to him.
We mentioned it to him. We were like,
but
we wanted a couple of things that made it so that it could only be here.
Yes,
it can only be in Ireland. You have round towers, you have dolmens, and the Celtic crosses, and then the mush people are mush people. They're everywhere.
Much of a mushness.
So, Pavol, looking at the release now, it's just on the horizon. What are your own feelings on it? It's been I suppose, like, when did you join the Slug actually?
It was 2018 was the Metal Days I stepped in for Rónán.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is this obviously is your first recorded piece, as in an album or an EP? Correct.
An album, I did a single.
Were you on the EP? No, you weren't on the EP.
No. I did a single, The Hunting Ground.
Yes, that was the introduction then.
But it was the first album, and it was a lot of work. And guys, it's always when we jam the stuff, and then you get into it, like, we get really kind of focused on everything, and I just hear how it could sound and stop, do this. Try that. I love doing that.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
working mainly on focusing on dynamics, mainly like
dynamics. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
I like the movement in the music.
Like, how would you describe Pavol's skill set?
It's vast.
Bringing it in.
Vast.
Okay. Go
on.
A lot of experience as well.
Endless, and
he's a magician.
He never tires. No, but like say with the songs, he like with the riffs and stuff, you kind of look at it and you go, if we moved here, and then you do like your interplay with the bass just makes a riff into more. You know, it's really cool. Like it just opens up a whole new world for me. I'm like, wow. It's a great eye on things that approaches it from like a real, proper musical background, basically. So good job, Pav.
Yeah, no,
good job.
You're the job.
No, but the bass, like it's doing stuff that reminds me of Dave Ellefson, what he was doing with Megadeth. Just doing notes that it's just dynamics is unreal.
Dynamics,
yeah, that's exactly it.
That's let's talk about the first track then, the Ooze. It just brought me back, because it's one of those classic opening songs where if you like traditional heavy metal, the acoustic opening is just beautifully hung there, because you know what's coming. You just know what's coming, and you're just relishing this peaceful serenade into fucking riffs that'll just fucking pressure you. Like again, the vocals and the rhythm section.
Originally for that song, "Ghost of the Ooze" was the intro to the Ooze.
Okay.
And then after jamming for a while, and the feels are really similar and the movements are really similar, and then kind of came up with the other one, and it worked. It just worked even better. So it's like, let's go with that and use the other one as an interlude. They tie back together nicely.
Yes.
So
yeah, class. Okay. So then Balor, like this track is just going to be immense live, and I know you've played it before live, Vic? I can remember it.
Played it a good few times.
So it's great to see it's getting its debut on an album.
It's been around for a while now.
It's about CCTV, basically, how things are watching you, the evil eye,
Okay.
And it's just that whole thing of like you're all constantly being monitored,
The eye must be destroyed.
And it's sort of like, from nowadays, and especially the times we live in, it's just that sort of like, it's on your back on, So that's what that tune is about. But then I thought about Balor of the Evil Eye.
Yeah, it suggests then.
And then,
the historic side of things, which you're really good at portraying as well, lads. That's pretty cool.
It's probably my most favourite song to play live.
Bouncy.
That's really, the one that when the first jam we had proper with Pav when he joined, we wrote that song and we landed in. That's when he was saying earlier the riffs. He's like, okay, this, and he said, how about try a few little things? Boom, done.
Yeah.
So it was like it just all came together, and live it's.
And that drum solo at the end.
Oh yeah.
How did that come about? I just love that.
Because we were doing it's like, do a drum solo, and me all said, do it again.
That's exactly
like, it. Stuff like that just makes an album special, and you'd look forward to it. Especially maybe on the 5th or 6th lesson, you're just going, oh, here we go. But like the idea of a drum solo in a 10 ton slug, it's outrageous, like in a lot of ways, and it's such a welcome addition to it,
I'm glad to hear it.
And it was Kelvin doing the drums on the album.
He
recorded all the drums.
Okay, so since you brought Kelvin up, let's talk about Kelvin's addition to the band. I mean, a great addition live.
He's a great drummer.
Solid.
He's a brilliant drummer. And sure, we'd known that for years. Like we played with
Two Tails
of Woe.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Did Metal to the Masses, did the Crowbar gigs and stuff.
Corrosion of Conformity as well.
Take the good. So Kelvin's a brilliant drummer, and he hadn't been drumming in years. And when we all needed to step back, we said, right, get in touch with Kelvin. you see if he'll basically come out of retirement for us. And he took a little bit of convincing, and but we're very, very glad that he did. And I mean, we would have been in a very tough situation if he hadn't, you know. Yeah. And I mean, we got a brilliant recording out of it. We had a good crack, and you know, he needed to take a step back for art, and we respect that. You know, it's what you need to do. It's what you need to do.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I mean,
he done a stellar job though.
Yeah. Especially live. Like, you know, there's someone so solid behind you.
Yeah.
When it's not me, you're like, he has it now.
That's exactly it.
Good man.
Me knew the songs. Like, I never had to look back or anything. Like, to
and for me, it was
give clues or anything.
It was strange for me because I'd always been in a band with Michal, like Weed Priests with Michal and Slug with Michal. Do you know?
Yeah.
And it was strange playing with a new drummer, but Kelvin got it, you know. And like I said, you know, when you're playing live, you hear all these little bell things, and like the approach is a bit different, because with me and Michal, we'd agree like this is exactly what's happening, and that's hopefully what we would try to make happen, you know. But with Kelvin, it was a little bit different. He's like, no, I have the framework of it, and there's certain parts we're going to hit, but then there's certain parts where he can do his thing, and then where I'm playing, I'm like, ooh, there's like ding 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 going on, really cool, really cool.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Ancient Ways, what a song, lads. Again, drum patterns through that is fantastic. And as I wrote down, gurning riffage. You know, unreal. And Sean gets a solo in at the end.
Yeah.
Actually, we had to put one somewhere on the album.
I was like, sticking in an old I owe me solo there. Right?
I owe you, no, I owe me.
Yeah.
That's very true, man. That's what I only. It was,
Yeah, it totally is,
man. Cool. And it fitted the song.
That has to fit the song, sure.
Yeah. Like
that's number one, like.
Just where you located it, like.
Yeah.
It's just on the out.
Yeah.
And that kind of even the feedback at the end is just fucking class.
Oh, cheers.
Again, it's just strategically put and taught so well taught.
Yeah. A lot of that structure in that song was Michal. That was like, you know, and then you kind of feel the builds, and it's not terribly dissimilar from the way Matriarch would build, but it does a different thing, you know.
That's a good comparison,
you know. So just felt like I could do something there. I didn't have the solo for ages in that, really. And writing that was funny, because usually, like I was saying before, when I play, I know exactly what I'm going to do before I play. And then we played Belfast last year, and I didn't have the solo for it, and I was like, play it in the moment. I'm like, oh Jesus. But then Tom Woodlock put a camera on the amp, and he got the entire set of Kelvin drumming and all of us playing. And I just made something up on the spot, and it worked really nicely. And that's afterwards I listened back, and it's like, yeah, there we go, just tweak, boom, that little part
on the spot.
Yeah,
more or less.
General kind of where I was moving, but so that was nice. That was
that cool. Yeah,
for me anyway. That was progress. For other people, they do that all the time. You know?
Of course.
And that's the thing. Enough. Like, I mean, like, I'm the third best guitarist. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the third best guitarist on the couch.
Last time you were the second best.
But lads are good, like, you know, they've been playing since, and I'm like, I'm the third best, but I'm the only one in the band, so that's playing. So,
Pavol, like that time when he did produce the solo in Belfast, like how funny was that afterwards? Just like coming up to him and going, "You got away with it, like you did it."
Just do something. Just
for him, it's no big deal, because in his world, that's just normal thing. He's a musician, you know.
Rather than you stressing out over it, like it
was just a different approach. Worked.
Yeah, and it absolutely. This is the progress with G as well. In a lot of songs, there's additional stuff that will catch you and go, oh fuck, okay, this is new, you know. But it doesn't reveal itself straight away to you. And that's the best thing about the album, I think. More and more listens, like most classic albums, they reveal themselves to the listener. It's not immediate, and if it is immediate with albums, they're, fuck it. And a lot of the time for me, I just park them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing in this album.
Very much.
Thanks.
That's class. Cormagat.
Yeah, Brutus. Brutus, killer rolling riff, old school to fuck. I wrote down a well-named song, and then you've Carl Willits to drive it home for you. Yeah. Was he always going to be on a Slug song, and why was it Brutus in particular?
Well, the two of us, me and Sean were chatting because we got support in Memoriam in Dublin and in Limerick.
And one of the nicest guys in
legend,
well,
legend.
Absolute.
Great man to have a pint with.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And all the lads are sound. And just said we'd ask him if he'd be interested, you know. Not just going, we should do this. It was like, just give him a shout and see.
Yeah.
And he said, no bother. And we're like, class. Do you know, like, wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like.
Yeah.
And had you Brutus at that stage?
We had Brutus. We
had that in mind. That was the one for him, was it?
Well, we initially asked him on Mindless, but
because it has a faster vibe, and we're like, maybe it'll work on that.
Yeah.
Well, at the very start, we said it's either one of the two.
Okay.
And we said, right, let's see about Mindless.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we did it. It was good, Craig. But I said we'll try him on another song and see.
I got a message from him after he did Mindless. It's like, Ron's vocals are really like, he does the shrieks and stuff. It's just like, he was messing. He's like, I'll try my best, Judas Priest. And I was like, oh, what are we going to get here? Like, No. But he sent it on. He's like, I don't know if it'll fit exactly.
Yeah.
And
he felt it himself. Like,
and parts will work really nicely, but then other parts wasn't exactly. And sure, he'd said it himself. So we're like, right, let's see.
Try another tune.
One,
yeah.
do you know? And yeah. It
he's
worked
class.
nicely. Like,
He's just got that voice.
Yeah.
Dark Vessel.
The delivery.
Yeah.
It's the delivery, isn't it?
The gravel as well.
Yeah. He's been working in the quarry. Huh? But
okay.
it's great to have him on it, you know,
Yeah.
and just
and
legend.
Like, your vocals are at the start, Ron, as well.
Yeah, and then he comes in. Yeah.
It works really well.
Yeah. There's points when I'm listening to it going, is that me or is that him?
It does. You see, this is it,
Yeah.
Is that because of the mix, do you think, as well?
I suppose I wasn't screeching because I wrote them lyrics, you know, in low, so with him low, and then the two of us together.
Yeah,
and then when
it marries well. Just when
he had recorded all of the vocals for all of the parts as well, because we'd do that
sense.
anyway,
Yeah,
you know.
so
then we'd listen to both takes and go, okay, how are we going to interplay them, because it's not live, do you know?
Yeah.
So that's why as well, I think when you listen back, like, oh yeah, which one do you hear?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
That's class though.
Cool. Very cool.
Okay,
good crack.
Let's take a break here then.
Yeah.
Engine's still warm. Say, did you see the skid marks out here? They go at a direct right angle to the direction of travel. No digs in the macadam either. Been a lot of livestock missing lately. That doesn't make headlines, but now it's people.
Okay, so on to Mindless and Blind, the first single, and a welcome return of the Slug to everybody's world. Let's talk about that. It's a fantastic song. Again, it's just going to be one of those songs that will be a classic live. One for the fans out there. Was there much debate over it being a single?
Kind of new for a good while, I think.
Yeah, it was the one that stood out to all of us, really.
Okay. Because it's a bit different from everything else that we've done, I think. So it seemed like a good statement of intent, let's say, to put out first. Yeah.
Yeah, you and Mihal came up with it, really.
Yeah, just from jams. Yeah, just from jams. So basically out for a couple of days, jamming just off the cuff, recording stuff, listening back, and then going, geez, all those sections work nicely together. Like we were saying earlier, that's kind of how that came together. You know, brought it into the jam room, then had to learn it like note for note, bring it in all the different sections. The lads just put it into order.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And the lyrics, Ron?
The lyrics, sort of close to home. It's to do really with the big C, COVID. And I lost someone during COVID, and I think it was my uncle, and I suppose it was just how it all happened, and how, I suppose, just how he caught it, and I was sort of annoyed and angry, and the why did he have to go, and a lot of people lost people in COVID and stuff like that, so it's sort of like, you know, you're just like, why did it happen, and people were mindless and not, you know, thinking about others, thinking about themselves, you know, that sort of way, and just like, just have to be more observant with stuff, and just, but yeah, just sort of emotional.
Is there any particular section in along the song that that a lyric particularly stands out for you, that you like in it?
The first lyric, I suppose, a furious obsession with questioning the past.
Yeah.
Do you know, and mindless and blind, so it's sort of, do you know, it's that stands out to me anyway.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. And what about the length of it, lads? Was there a lot of chopping?
I think it's a fine size.
Yeah. Yeah.
big weight to it.
Family bag.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah, we'd jamming it, and then we came to the chorus, and then we're thinking, we come back into another verse again, and it just sits nice in the last verse. You're not expecting it. It sort of brings you back down, and you're like, oh, right.
And holding off the verse for a good while, whereas I was like, let's put it in here, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
Try it later and kind of build up, move up and down, and then go to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because for me, guitar-wise, I'm quite happy with that riff.
Yeah,
the chorus riff, I'm
savage,
very happy with that, and using it in the right place, I think, is an important part of it.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of chat about that, but the lads really kind of just put it structured in a way so that the dynamics fit what we're trying to do with it. So yeah,
perfect. Ghosts of the Ooze, we talked about that. It's interesting that there's you play around a good bit with melody in it. Is that something you don't get much of a chance to do it with a lot of other songs with Slug? But
for me, there has to be melody in everything.
Yeah,
you know, it's there somewhere. I think
it's there. Yeah, but
you know,
yeah.
It's a nice, just little, all the heaviness, and then you have like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah,
do you know? And a nice interlude from the
exactly, yeah. And it makes I think it makes everything either side of it stand out maybe more because you have that little breather in the middle. And there's actually EBO on that and stuff I've never done before, like a few other little bits, you know, acoustics, tiny bit of lead.
And Pavol's added a bit of atmospherics as well, like bells and sort of little things in the background.
Yeah,
do sort of all the inward singing like the ghost.
It is. Would 10 Ton Slug have tried that like 8 or 9 years ago?
Probably not. No. But that could only go on an album, because if you put it on an EP with 3 songs, it'll be 4 songs, and a quarter of the songs will be filler. Not filler, but like there's no place on an EP. It only has a place on an album, and it only has a function on an album, in my opinion. And because of the way, with everything kind of getting faster, and you want the dynamics of the album to flow and to tie back to the intro, it just made sense, you know.
It's like in a lot of Sabbath albums and stuff like that.
For me as well, that's exactly it. Embryo, Orchid, all those little, you know, Iron Lung by Alice in Chains, they have that. And for me, I love those little things. Or even on Down, you know, they have Doob interlude, and they have all of those little bits on Down One. I think that's really cool. Yeah.
So it's a nice acknowledgement of influences there. Yeah. On about influences, let's go on to Malach on
Sludge.
Malach on Sludge.
With the T is sort of
Sludge.
The T is what? Is it a silent T? So
it's grammatical. Yeah.
As Huelge.
Yeah. Like, would be wrong to say that Thin Lizzy, the force of Thin Lizzy at some stage or other rears its beautiful head.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
This song, yeah. I think with the solo as well.
That's I've had those little runs for a little bit. And
you've had them riffs for before I even joined Slug. Sean and me all had a thing called auditory shrapnel.
Can't even say the thing like.
Yeah.
Little bits of metal, because we had been jamming years and years and years ago, and I put together a little CD with all of the jams on it, and you need a word for little jams, little metal jams, little bits of metal. Auditory shrapnel. So that we used the little bits of those riffs basically for ages. So they found a nice home in that thing.
Yeah.
So,
and the Auron is Oscalia. It's all basically. So with that tune, it's like from the whole album sort of oppression, and then there's another side of like from the side of the
oppressed.
Oppressed, yeah. I was going to say oppressed. And it's more compressor, yeah.
Compressor. A pneumatic compressor.
But it's basically about, fucking cursing your oppressor, you know.
It's all different curses, and it's all different ways in Irish to lament oppression and to rile against it. And who would have thought that Irish should be good at talking about people oppressing them, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, the chorus is Cosser Bullock. Cosser Bullock is another word for oppression, believe it or not.
Really?
But Cos is foot and Bullock is stomach, so it's like a very
foot
visual foot on stomach.
Yeah.
And then Brufy Hush, which is the other part of the chorus, is, again, to oppress, but it's to...
Underhoof, sort of.
Yeah, to force or mash underfoot, to crush underfoot.
Like
to
pressure, sort of.
And push under force of riffs as well.
So just the sound of it works. I think the sound of the language works really well. It does, and we'd spent a little bit trying to get all the placements and everything.
And for all the Gaeilgeoirs out there, like, just be prepared, because a lot of giving out.
A lot of giving out.
There's a lot of stuff you wouldn't be saying, like, Jesus, he said that on the song, Jesus. Yeah, but it's Irish has a way. It's a different. Yeah, it's a sort of poetic way of saying things and direct in a way, like.
Yeah.
It really has a way of expressing things and using visual and like other kind of metaphors to describe a feeling, but it not being literal. And when you translate everything, you translate it to pretty much the same thing in English, and it just does it in a really nice visual storytelling kind of a way. And I've always thought that about Irish, that there are certain areas of it that lend themselves very well to the oral tradition, obviously, and then there's areas of the language where obviously it wouldn't be as well equipped to discuss things like technology or science, for example, where German is way better at that. But for Irish, where it really, really has it really shines, let's say, in its vocabulary and its grammar and its turns of phrase, would be in the oral tradition. And obviously in Ireland, a lot of that is, lamenting sorrows and grieving, but being pissed off about stuff as well. Yeah. But expressing it in many, many different ways. Yeah. And for the lyrics of this, it was just really nice to have a look at so many of the different ways of saying this and to work them in. It was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that part of it, to be honest. Because you tried a lot of different things.
A lot of different stuff, and from different dialects as well of Irish as well. And Sean threw in lyrics, and we all mixed it together. And it's just like some of the things now you would want to be saying, like Scrad Wajinjort. Wajinjort is
Scrad Wajinjort. It's like it's the morning scream, but it's like it's
the banshee of the morning sort of.
May a terrible thing befall you is what you're saying, but the concept of it is that it's Scrad is a scream, imagine it's morning. So upon waking up in the morning, discovering a tragedy, it's the wail of discovering a tragedy. May that befall you is what you're saying with this. Or Mar Vashgurt is may the shroud of death be wrapped around you. Like it's basically saying fuck you, but it's saying it in
and good doc for an Dowel who It's like made the devil choke you. Like it's like
yeah. So it's really visual, and they're really lovely ways of expressing like I'm angry. Do you know? So yeah, that's basically
and
those.
What about Pavol for backing vocals on that song?
there's a part and it goes and Pavol just he does this sort
he
of
has a dance.
Mexican bass player.
He has a
limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We haven't played it live, so we're looking forward to playing it live as well.
Yeah.
Big time.
Live.
Yeah, you had fun with the bass on that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was kind of the idea, the more solo bit on the bass.
Yeah.
It was this idea because I was listening to Sean's playing kind of higher pitched melody.
Yeah.
I said, let's try it as a call and response.
Yes.
Exactly.
Call and response.
Because he's staying on the same note first and then doing the melody. So I said, I'll do kind of a version of his melody before.
Yeah.
And then he
really
replies just something to try.
Yeah.
And add musicality to it and stuff, and just it's
like how many guitar tracks did you record? What was the most? What song had the most guitar tracks on?
they all have the same. So I went through a load of different times recording all of the tracks. So they've been demoed to death, to be honest with you. I demoed them with to death. I've demoed them with obviously with one guitar. I've demoed them with two. I've demoed them with three, and I demoed them with four with overdubs. And then you're like, okay, 4 is too many. Quad tracking is too many because you can't get it sounds huge, but huge isn't, believe it or not, huge isn't everything. Yeah. It's about how everything works together and hearing the details of it. And that was like, okay, I went down to Pavs and spent a weekend.
I think we tried quad tracking for both sides. So it's 8 tracks of guitars. It sounds massive, but you're losing the clarity then. Diminishing
returns. You add more, but you lose detail, and it's not worth it. And so we tried, it wasn't for, and a lot of aspects of the album, it wasn't for lack of trying something that it wasn't done. That's why it took time. We tried, we listened, we went, guess not, and then tried again and did it a different way. I tried a lot of the songs with 3, then 1 guitar in the middle and 1 either side. But then, the way I do guitars all the time would be, since Adam left, was I'd use an ABY, split the signal and have 2 different guitars live, 2 different amps live with 1 guitar. So you can kind of have 2, it feels like 2, right? Kind of. And then when recording it, you want to kind of emulate that. But then if you have 3, you're making decisions about the sound that it affects things in a way that you wouldn't have to consider when you play live, put it that way. So it doesn't reflect the live experience. 4 is the same, then it gets muddy, which is fine for some tracks, but doesn't work for others. So ultimately it was two guitars, it was left and right, and they both play little variations on the same thing. There's parts where they split and they do maybe a little thing different on either side so that it forms a full thing together. But that's about it, just 2 overdub then maybe for the odd chorus or something like that. But yeah, just left and right.
Yeah, we had a good long while sorting that out too. It's my guitars. It's but the tune, my guitars.
Let me tell you,
my guitars right, please.
I wanted, all right. I swear to God, and it really wasn't for
get it done. Stuff. Get it fucking done.
I wanted a particular amp because I'm wrong sometimes, and I had to go to Dublin to get this amp and to rent the amp to go down to Limerick to record with it. I went to Dublin. On the way to Dublin, I stopped the car, put fuel in it. My head was somewhere else because of everything that was going on. Yeah. Put the wrong fuel in the car. Had to go get because it was...
Was it petrol into diesel?
It was petrol into diesel, and it wasn't my car. So if it was my car, I'd top her up, drive it off. Right? Wasn't my car.
It's not too bad. Yeah, with petrol into diesel.
So there's different hoses that it shouldn't fit in. You must have fucking rammed it in.
No, it was the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Skip it in there.
Yeah, a little sausage in the hallway job. Jesus, she's well warmed up here. Just cut that bit, please. But yeah, anyway, I put the wrong fuel in. I had to get the fuel taken out. That wasn't cheap. Went to Dublin, got the amp, came back, and then recording was cancelled. So I had to go back to Dublin, return the amp, come back. So that was like 500 quid, like into the ether. Have my money, universe. Yeah. And like that, things like that.
Good to have you back in the road, Sean.
yeah. So different things happened that were setbacks. But look, I mean, you learn from your mistakes, you know. I even have a little jingle in my mind that I hear every morning when I wake up that ends with diesel, because that's what I have to put in my car. So, you know.
Like I'm intrigued with this amp story. Where did this amp come from?
I thought it was magical. I know.
That's a good amp.
I wanted to use an Engel, and I wanted to try a particular angle that had a cab with it as well, and it should have been a straightforward job. Okay. And it ended up being a bit of grief basically, but it happens.
And you didn't go back to that after that?
We never used that amp. No. Okay. I did get it for the next time we went recording, and it didn't sound good. Okay. And I felt like a total idiot.
It just goes to show the
wanted to get things right, I suppose. You know.
But look, the way I look at it is ultimately with these things, it sucks that happens. But I'd rather it happen that way than it be the other way around. And it was just, if it was me not bothering to go and get something that could have been the perfect thing that we needed, that would irk me so much more. What's 500 quid at the end of the day? I'm happy with the album. I'm happy with the album. And I never say that about stuff. So, you know.
Next time we'll get a guitar pick sent from Denmark.
About guitar picks, I once stopped in
here we go.
6 guitar picks cost me 103 quid before. Because I stopped at It Music in Galway to get guitar picks, and I pulled in, because they have no parking, pulled into the housing estate, whacked the hazards on. That means everything's fine in Ireland, I thought. And went in, came out, I had a ticket for 100 quid. And 50 cent a pick, so 103 quid for 6 packs or whatever, So everyone's support buying the album is greatly appreciated.
Okay, so Morgor the Unkind. Okay, so I have interesting style change with the vocals, Rónán at around the 4-minute mark. Riff-laden hooks till the slowdown. One of the best sequences of slug music ever.
Oh, jeez, thanks very much.
Absolutely.
Thanks a million.
Yeah, this is something special.
It's been around for a while, that one. Even Owen was part of that.
Wow.
Like like the bits of that have been around, and we were writing that for a while, and we did most of it with Pav, but the very start of it was with Owen as well. So it's been around, you know, and the song title is basically, so Mihal is Migor, but when he gets angry he's Mogor. Mogor. And then on those days when he's more angry than was usual, he's Morgor the Unkind. And it just happened that we're like, do you know what? He's not on the album, but we have to keep the name. We have working titles for everything. We're like, we have to keep the name. It's such a good one.
Morgor the Melon Balls.
So it's the title works like that, you know.
It does, of course. Yeah. Fits in nicely. But let's talk about that closing sequence there. My God.
Empire's Burn, man.
It's unbelievable. It really, really is just something. Like, I keep going back to it, and it just gives me such fucking happiness, because I love riffs and I love heaviness, but it's just this, like, how slow can you fucking go?
You
know what I mean?
Could have went slower again.
But it, you know, then it gets ridiculous. But like, it's just
you go Bellwitch slowly.
But like with Slug, it's slow, and then you went slower again, and then you had this just a sense just to have it on the edge, and that's where it comes back from the edge, and then it just gets fucking heavier and faster. It's joyous, like it's
ahead again.
Go ahead again.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the idea of speeding up as well at the end.
Yeah, it's,
you know, because we slow down on the end of the other EP, so speed up on this one, and then it kind of reminds me of the end of what's the Sabbath song where it speeds up, but they do it on the.
But
it happens like like somebody turning the knob, like. Yeah,
it's almost like an in joke. It just brings a smile to me.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. It's just like, yeah, this is Slug having fun here, like, you know.
Mihal's, when we were playing with Mihal, we gigged that live with Mihal once or twice, and his speed up on it, that section with Mihal was.
I remember that, like.
It was.
He like, just had it.
It's
he
the
was like
one part of the album where I know it could have been even. We could have got
slower.
It even better. Yeah, we could have just. There was an element to it that was lost that I would have wished we'd captured that Mihal brought to it.
It was so tribal the way he was doing it. It was like going, oh, he's going to...
That's how I put it, like just his interpretation of a speed up really spoke to me.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. But I'm really happy with how it came out, obviously, but yeah, just that.
What about the end?
Yeah, it was cool theme as well, because me and Sean were chatting, he was like, oh, I heard about it, watched this documentary about the Hittite Empire, and they were like, the city of Hattusha, and I was like, what's this about? And I watched it, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was like an empire back, what is it, 3000 BC, was it, or something?
It's back in...
It's around
about then.
They started off, anyway, ancient empire, they're lost for 3000 years, but they had this fortress, the city of Hattusha, and it was 50 miles away from a river. So you could imagine how they had to make a viaduct the whole way to this fortress. And walls and walls and walls, and there were these ancient warriors that they're fighting the Egyptians, but they were on chariots. They were chariot warfare, and I was just like, this is cool. Like. And then after a while, they just disappeared. Whatever happened.
What remains is the gates, so that's the whole thing about the gate destroyed and stuff in it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just really visual, and it gives you this. It just works with the music. I think it just gives you this image, you know.
Chariots of war draw near, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
And then there's the bass line.
And then there's the bass line.
Yeah.
And when we were
Back
jamming
in time.
we were jamming this a while ago, and it was funny, we hadn't jammed in a while. And we got to that part, and I could see Pav was like, "Oh, yeah, what comes next?" And then you could see the light go, "Oh yeah!" We all look at Pav. Boom!
It was the moment I was waiting for all the time. Every
Spotlight came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Come on, let's play this. Let's get to it. Go, keep going. It's a very long song. Oh, he's not. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
The sunset is fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the ultimate track to finish the album, man. Really.
Did you hear the hidden message in it?
Yeah, there's a hidden little. If you let the song ring out, there's a bit of something.
Okay, no, I haven't heard that yet.
A few
that's
hidden
a
things.
headphone listen, obviously. Like. Don't ruin it.
Yeah, you can hear it.
I could
hear it
say
on speakers.
you can hear it on speakers too. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Maybe
a few little bits.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
a few
I'm
little
just
bits.
still so fucking
like-
happy with the way it just. Just
Yeah.
There's a bit of Morse code at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it up to you to decipher.
Don't
Here's your
ruin it
homework.
for- Don't ruin it for anybody else.
The first person to decipher it wins. Fuck all.
No, I'll buy you a pint. Jesus, buy them a pint. Come on, don't be
Yeah,
I'll buy you a
actually,
pint.
there has to be some fucking reward, man.
The first person to decipher it gets
badge.
the mammoth plek I used to play the last. So I used a plek made from the tusk of a mammoth that died in Siberia, whatever, 20, 30,000 years ago. I picked it up on tour in Edinburgh in Mr. Wood's Fossils. Every time we go to Edinburgh, I go there.
Class.
And so I love that kind of stuff, right? And they have they have mammoth tusk, they have all that kind of stuff. So I picked up a few little bits of mammoth tusk, and I crudely fashioned them into a plek. And then for the end of the album, the last notes that ring out are played with those. So the first person that decodes and puts the thing on Richie's thing that I see,
in the comments section.
Yeah, the comment section.
they win that. They win that. I'll give them that because there you go.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's class. Wow.
Bit of crack.
3, 2, 1, go!
That's it. Just hit pause there for a second. So you produced it yourselves. How did that work out? Was that
Oh, that was really cheap and it was painless.
No. We did our best, I think. We did our utmost best.
Yeah. Look, there's learning curve with everything. You can pay people to do stuff, but you can't pay them to care about it.
True.
And that's the thing that ultimately, like, there's great people that help you a lot and do great things for you, but ultimately you can never know that it's going to be done exactly how you want unless you're part of the process.
Yeah.
So it's worth putting the time in to get it right. So that's why we did it ourselves, basically. And then nothing against anybody. It was just...
It's just you want it to be the best you can. If you're going to spend this amount of time and effort and everything, you want to just get the best you can possibly do.
Yeah. To make a statement and do it right. And yeah.
So the initial person doing all the recording was Kieran.
Yeah.
Oh, he did all the recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did a bit of vocals outside of that because it can be good to get takes when you're really fresh. So we did a couple of takes, say, not with Kieran, but like away, and then bring them in and then do more there because
we record ourselves, like, and then bring it to him and mix it, like.
But yeah, did it with Kieran.
How long were you with Kieran? How long was that process?
That took a long time too.
Just in 2020, we got money from the Arts Council of Galway to record the album, and just when COVID hit, we got that. So I was chatting to Kieran. We decided that we were going to go with Kieran for recording anyway. We never knew about mixing. We're like, let's do recording there anyway because it's close. It's in between where all of us
are. And Kieran's a good mate of ours.
Exactly. Kieran knows. Kieran's done sound for us so much, and he knows. He knows. And he did Hunting Ground. Yeah. So we're like, right, let's do that.
Be coming in pieces.
And we got money from the Arts Council of Galway, and we gave that to Kieran then and booked our time in then.
Thanks to Galway Arts Council.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Cheers, though.
And
thanks for believing in us.
And so it kind of worked out nicely because everything was closing down then as well. So just that took care of that. We worked on the rest of the songs then for like another 2 years. But we had the time booked, and then when the time was right, that's when we went in and recorded it. We said we'd go with track mix because with the other stuff it's always nice to do everything in the same place, but the advice we always get is it's good to have fresh ears, and it was a real, like, I'd heard a lot about track mix being very good, and so we went up there and we mixed with him.
Intermission time that stretch you've been wanting, and best of all, time to take your pick from that scrumptious array of tasty treats waiting for you at the snack bar.
Yeah, we're just back after a brief interlude there. So let's talk about gigs. By the time this episode comes out, you'll have done your album launch. How fun was it choosing the supports? Was there much debate?
Well, trench knife for class.
Yeah.
Dog tired of class.
Yeah. Turf knife, we call them.
Yeah.
Well, I call them turf knife.
He calls them turf knife. And Zora class.
Yeah.
And
we know Zora years, and Nomadic as well.
It's an over-runner, yeah.
Know them all years.
I'm sure there would have been a lot more bands would have loved the chance to support you for this.
We had asked a couple of others as well, and things didn't work. And geez, it's loads of great bands, great to play with. Just the way it worked out with times and everything.
Yeah, It's a brilliant package, to be fair. Both Limerick and Dublin. You might have a few other gigs lined up. What about America? Is that a viable one for the Slug?
Come to your town, America.
Yeah, we certainly are. Yeah, we're doing Maryland Doomfest in the end of June, and a couple of gigs around it. Boston and New York so far is lined up.
It's mad.
Hopefully everything will be good. With everything, you never know until it happens. We're a bit wary about all that kind of stuff. It's a big step. Hopefully it goes
well. Come to your town, America.
We plan to come to your town, America.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And
we have a couple of leads in random places as well for the future that we will be revealing in time. But we want to do different things and want to gig wherever we can and spread this line far.
Yes.
And sometimes it's worth just taking a punt and trying things.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to try that coming up.
And travel as well.
Travel.
Yeah,
of course.
Imagine St. Vitus's bar.
Oh, that'd be on.
Closed down.
Is it gone?
Yeah.
No.
2 months ago about that.
Or it's probably 3 months at this stage.
We were chatting with them about a gig, and in the meantime everything went belly up there. So I mean, there's
the one I was looking forward to.
Yeah, that's
Me
the
too.
one, isn't it?
Me too.
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah, that's it.
It's Fred Zeppelin's of New York.
Will you do sound for the gigs?
Yeah.
Well, drive. If he do hit New York City, I'd recommend Moe's Bar. Anyway, you have to go there for the home of metal.
Oh, class.
It's unbelievable.
And is Duff's as well, is that?
Or maybe it's Stuffs then.
I love it.
You fucking knew that, Rónán. Fucker.
Well, you know, like, and hopefully we get to someday. Hopefully we get to gig with a reformed band called Remedy. Will Remedy support us some night for the crack? Go on, come
We've
back
been told
from the dead.
that the booking fee is extremely
Extortionate.
high. Extortionate now, to be honest.
Oppressive.
Extortionate. Yeah. It's a colossal and it's oppressive in its nature. Yeah.
We need the Remedy back in our lives.
The good news is all members are still alive.
Yeah.
So it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. No, that would be class.
Put it out there.
In the Marine Bar as well, that Pavol have played in,
Class.
in your class. Okay. Anything else, lads, before we pack
Just
it up?
thanks everyone
Yeah.
for supporting us and having the crack with us, and it's been some journey, and
It has been a journey.
It's been
amazing.
It's been absolutely mad.
been great
And people
crack.
are amazing. And honestly can't say thanks enough to people for the support and just so sound. Everybody's just it's really amazing. So
That's a
thanks
testament
million.
to you as well, to your characters and everything as well. I must say that. Like, I mean, you know, there's never a Limerick gig or another gig that you wouldn't see a member of the Slug there, and you know, up the front. You know,
It's all about the riffs.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
we all
great.
love riffs. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
what,
all
what
great
are we
to-
doing here if it's not riffs? You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, that's
and give it up
like.
to the Irish metal
Yeah.
scene.
And
Yeah.
That's for the future. More riffs. More
Yeah.
riffs
More
for
riffs.
Yeah.
all the guys that are supporting us.
yeah,
So
and
looking forward to do more.
may the Irish metal spread far and wide, because the further you go, the more you see just how much talent is here, and it's incredible. And it's a bit mad that everything that's going on with, like, I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah. Mutal Trumaboo. Oh.
This is enough. Yeah. No, it's. I hope that. No, I'm gonna stop there. I'm just drunk now.
You just hope everything. Gurmila Moggy.
Thanks.
The Slug are coming. The Slug are coming. The slime is
Slimerick.
slime is there already,
Slimerick.
and the ooze.
Exactly.
And
Galway.
what I want to say about it once again, lads, is congratulations on exceeding most fans' expectations in relation to having a fucking kick-ass album, an amazing album. But not only that, it's just, you've just progressed and brought us all along with you. So now, finally, we've got a release that we can all sit down and enjoy and go, yes, what's the next chapter for 10 Ton Slug? And I hope it'll be sooner rather than later that there'll be another release. So congratulations again, lads. Fantastic
Thanks a million.
release.
It means a lot. Thank you very much.
You did us
Really.
proud.
Yeah.
And thanks for all the
Thanks
support.
for having us.
Like, yeah,
On the metal cell as
for all
well.
the support since you started. It's been amazing what you've been doing for the metal scene, man. Really, you do it out of passion, and everybody can see it. And thanks a million.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. You've been listening to Sean, Pavol and Rónán of 10 Ton Slug. Support your local metal scene. Give us a no.